This is my friend Heidi. Heidi is wife to Steve and a mother of one, and animal lover.
Yes,
this is Mason. He's going to join us today. Heidi, you are originally from China, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that first.
Yeah.
In just a minute. But first, I want to ask you. I think you just. Whenever I see you, I think you're enjoying your child so much, and I'm, none of us enjoy every second of parenting. Do you have something that helps you to remember to enjoy your mothering, or is there something about mothering that you particularly find joy in?
Well, first of all, because my husband and I have been struggle with infertility, so Iris has been a precious gift for us.
Oh, yeah.
So I really treasure that. And then I think because I do, as I mentioned to you, I have been doing the peaceful parenting with Iris, so that I think me and Iris has a really good bond together. So I try to, I like to do really fun things with her. So I try to, it is hard sometimes, but I try to find a joy, to be with her, to do crafts with her, to dance with her. I'm very grateful because we have so many hobbies that we both of us like.
Yeah.
And so that's just something I really, really enjoy. And I really like that she likes to give me hugs. She's a big snuggler. So her cuteness and her snuggles kind of make up for the moment, the challenging moments.
Sure, you need those
yes.
to kind of reset.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. Okay, so tell me more about peaceful parenting. Where did you find it, and how has it changed your mothering?
Well, I found peaceful parenting when Iris was 2 years old. And I was reading this book called Peaceful Parenting, Happy Kids by Dr. Laura Markham. I really recommend that. And what I get from this book is that the first thing is that it's very important for us to, as parents, to do self-regulating, to regulate our own emotion, which is the hardest part. So that we can be as calm as possible when we're trying to help out kids when they have big emotions. And the second one is, I think, is that it's really important to have a good bond with your child. So when they're having a hard time, it's very important to connect with them first, to give, sometimes they need their space. Right now she's 3 years old, but I always tell her that mommy's always here. If she go to her room and close the door, I just tell her I'm always there if she needs a hug. And then third one is that to set limits. It's not permissive parenting, so we still need to set boundaries and the limits, but try my best, to set it with compassion and empathy. And the fourth one is just to take good care of myself, so that I can, if I don't get enough sleep, I get cranky. So I try to have quite some time to myself, which is I'm really grateful for that. Right now I have this time, to read books and to give some time to myself, so I can be emotionally generous and love her unconditionally, which is really hard. We love our kids from the deepest of our heart, and at those moments it's just kind of hard,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to remember. I've noticed lately, having to remember that the relationship comes first. The relationship is more important than the discipline or the dealing with the problem right this second.
Yeah.
That generally that's not as big a deal as making sure that I'm a safe place, and that's so hard.
Yes, it is.
So hard.
Yes. And I've noticed that I've noticed that when we have a really good connection, with a really good bond with, because I have a really good bond with Iris, I feel like. So when the big emotion comes, I have big emotions too. She can be more generous to me, with my big emotions.
Oh.
So, when I'm having a hard time, I tell her that I need some time. I go to my room, and before I step into my room, she normally would run to me and give me hugs, and that moment your heart just melts. You still have some emotions to process, but you slowly get to calm down, And I try to, that's just my personal, because when I was growing up, my dad was having a hard time dealing with my big emotions. She always said like, don't cry. So that has a big impact on me. I don't like that. So I want to change that. So whenever she has big emotions, she cries. I just encourage her, like feelings are not dangerous. And sometimes you just feel like after a good cry, she feels so much better. The day just gets smoother, you know, and you just be there with her. And it's a good, like one time I read from this article, it says that you can take a tantrum into a good one. So if Iris is having a hard time, and it's a good time to connect and bond with her. Not at the moment, but afterwards, hug each other and take deep breaths together. That's one thing we like to do together, and that really, and I think that really helps. And that's the moments that makes me feel like what motherhood is all like, make me happy, and make my heart full.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
What a gift to your daughter to be able to model that for her. She's gonna benefit so much from it. So that was kind of my next question is, growing up in Shanghai, are there cultural differences in parenting that you have noticed since coming to the U.S.? Is it a lot different or no?
Yes, I think the parenting in our generation is very different from my parents already, and I think that right now because in the Chinese culture, I think it's kind of like the whole family, like the mother's family, father's family, the whole big family raising the kid together.
Okay.
So grandparents take a big role in taking care of the grandkids because the parents are so busy, you know. So yeah, I think that's one of different, and so the grandparents are kind of, they don't have they don't set a very firm limits, which I think all the, most of the grandparents do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a very big difference from what we do right now, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, and especially having your parents still back in China and so far away.
Yes.
And to have grown up with that being the culture, that the grandparents are really involved. So, so what does parenting look like for you, having your family so far away? What is that like?
Because Iris does not get to see her Mimi and Papa and Nana, face to face, in person. So we do FaceTime at dinner time. That's like our routine. And then when we're eating food or like listening to a song, or like a song that my dad or mom particularly love, I'll tell her that's the song that Mimi and Papa loves. So whenever she hears that song, sometimes she will learn to sing this song and I sing it to them through FaceTime. Cool. Yeah, and I tell her that my dad loves noodles. I was like, guess who loves noodles? And then it's like those little things to get her involved, to even though she does not get to see them very often, she has them in her heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those little moments where you can connect them to their family.
And we have like spring, like the Lunar Chinese New Year, like we celebrate those in in our house too. And then there will be TV, and then we don't let her watch a lot of, we don't have a lot of screen time, but it's just in our household. But if in those special occasions we do turn on a TV, and I tell her that that's the time, like you get to. Sometimes she's interested in them, sometimes she's not, but that's okay. We just let it.
You're saying it's in the Chinese language?
The Chinese language, and they have lots of Chinese songs to celebrate, like the Chinese New Year.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the Moon Festival, a festival which means the family reunion.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Exactly.
So it's a good time to connect her back to that.
Yes.
That's cool. Iris is growing up in the United States, and she's here.
Yes.
So are there other ways that you help her to feel connected, not only to your family, but to her Chinese heritage, to that culture?
Like I said, when she was a little bit younger, since she spent a lot of time at home, so we do some crafts, about lanterns, and we talk about that. And during the Chinese New Year, we make dumplings. Because she likes to use, make play. It's like doing Play-Doh, you make those little dumplings, and so we talk about food. We let her to try and use, Chinese food. She's pretty adventurous about trying new food.
Okay.
Yeah, because growing up in the States, a lot of traditional American food she loves, and cheese, she loves all cheese stuff. So sometimes we have to encourage her to try those. And
Sure.
yes, and then I tell her that she needs to take a no thank you bite in our family.
Okay.
So just eat a bit bite, because sometimes when you take this bite, you like it. If she does not like it, that's fine too. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right, that's awesome.
Mhm.
And how about you and your husband? Do you feel like this is home now, or do you have to work to help Iris feel like this is our home too, and not just China? How do you feel about that?
I feel like this is home, because before I moved to Pullman, I was studying in Cleveland, Ohio for 2 years for my graduate school. And at that time, I feel like I was all by myself. I felt lonely. And then we moved over here. I moved over here with my husband, and then I kind of feel like it's a home. And then we add 2 more cats and 1 puppy, and then it makes makes it more like a home. And now we have Iris. I think it's just, I feel like I'm really grateful for that. And for me, this is home. Especially, you see, we got lots of crafts on the wall, and that just makes more homey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That this is your place. This
That's
is
our
where you're at.
little family. And then when my parents or my husband's mom comes to visit, which they will next year, we're very excited.
Yeah.
So I think that she really looks forward to that.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
I bet.
A
That's
table
special.
full of people to eat
Oh
dinner.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's exciting.
Yes.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for letting me
You're
chat
welcome.
with you today.
You're
Are you ready for a speed round?
Yes.
The extra questions?
Yes.
Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.
Heidi, what's your favorite sound?
The vacuum.
Really?
When the vacuum suck the stuff,
Uh-huh.
you feel like the carpet's so clean.
That's a great answer. What's your least favorite sound?
The tap, when you do not close the tap very tightly and it drip drop.
Oh, the dripping from the tap. That's hilarious.
Annoys me.
What's your favorite word?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. What do you know?
What do I know about anything? Well, I know I like to bake.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't know that about you.
Yes.
What do you want to learn?
I want to learn something that I want to learn computer engineering. That's what my husband does. Because I think that's a different language. I want to learn it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's awesome. What scares you?
The health of my family. If one of them gets sick, like my parents or any, especially they're in China,
Yeah.
I can go fly over there right away. So that's the thing that scares me.
Yeah. That makes sense. Tell me about a mom that inspires you.
Well, you know what? I think that so there are 2 Facebook groups that I really that helps me a lot. The first one, as I told you, is Dr. Laura Martin's Aha Parenting, and the other one is by Janet Lansbury, and she has a podcast called Unruffled. And so these 2 are moms, and lots of moms who like you, to how to say that, to share those posts or videos and to inspire other moms, to know you are not the only one who struggle with this one and go through this, and so you know that you're not alone. Yeah.
That's
and then
cool.
sometimes, and then most of the time you will get something from reading those posts. I think that's very generous.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
And Heidi, what are you good at?
Well, as I said, I think I'm pretty good at baking. I love to be with kids. I think I'm pretty good at playing with kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a good answer. Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.